Hello. I just wanted to make a video on the lyrics of Antidote that Daniel came out with the music video. This was not a planned video, but the lyrics moved me, his authenticity moved me to make an analysis. It's because I could relate to him in many ways, in my own way. Um, his lyrics are very moving. I did hear somewhere he deals with anxiety issues, and when I was 5 years ago, I used to have panic attacks once a week. His words illuminate a lot of the things I went through, vocalizes it for me, and moved by his lyrics, which is causing me to make an analysis video. So let's look at the lyrics. Okay, so it says, trapped in this cold, silent night, a shadow covering the room, there's no time to breathe. A trap that suffocates me. It's probably a trap. People who deal with anxiety issues, people who have self-esteem issues, self-doubt issues. Am I doing the right thing? Am I worthy of love? Am I worthy of existence? And in the midst of that, the social pressures, the what you feel and think that other people are thinking about you, can really set off a trap. It's very suffocating, and I think he means this both literally and mentally. When you have anxiety, from my personal experience, yes, I physically have a hard time breathing. It feels like the world's caving in, my heart's beating fast. However, it's at the same time it's mentally as well. You feel suffocated. You feel like you cannot perform. You want to run away, but you can't. You can't run away. All you can do is ignore, but the problem does get bigger. Let's move on with the lyrics. My eyes lose focus when I look into the empty air. Yeah, I can't even believe now. It spreads all over my body, even worse. Okay, so again, he's talking more about how I believe his anxiety is spreading throughout his body. It's when you have a panic attack, an anxiety attack, you're so afraid. And that fear is not just mental but physical. Your body basically freezes up, and that sometimes is a defense mechanism from yourself. Like you're getting ready to get hurt really badly, and oftentimes our body will try to stiffen up because we want to make sure whatever, like let's say in ancient times, right, when there are actual danger, right, when we were living in the savannah of Africa, right, or in small tribes, right, where there were actual animals that could help us, your actual body toughens up so that you can prepare for the impact. And actually, when your blood gets actually more bitter too, because your body will release cortisol. But the disconnect and the problem is, in actuality, there's no animal attacking us now. Now it's all, a lot of it is in our head, and it's a sickness because it's an overreaction, right? I did hear he was bullied. I myself was bullied too, but not like, it's not the typical bully, but it was when I was in elementary school. I was always anxious. I was that, jumpy kid, and always different. I wasn't self-aware at that time, and that marked me as different. And for one or two people who was also insecure about themselves, would prey upon that. But my childhood has had a lasting impact on how I value myself, and it's painful. Our brains are most formative until the age of 13, like 0 to 6 is like really important, and 6 to 13 is the second stage where it's really important too. Not as important as 0 to 6, but 6 to 13 is also very formative on how you view yourself. After 13, the formation slows down, and it can take a lifetime for some. Some people maybe less, to heal the wounds and really be able to see yourself and value yourself um, in a positive light. I still suffer from self-esteem issues and self-doubt issues. It's a battle every day. Um, I don't think it has gotten better, but I can empathize and sympathize. Like I try to frame it as the experience that I have is so that if I see someone else going through something similar, low self-esteem issues, um, low self-worth issues, I want to be able to share my experience. I want to let them know that they're not alone. Um, I felt so lonely when I was going through my panic attacks and anxiety attacks as well. Um, but later on, what actually helped me was that I had help, and it was not. Yes, my experiences, like I felt like no one could fully understand, but everybody, like there's a lot of other people as well who have their own unique issues, and there's strength in struggling together, right? And we can give each other tips at the very least. Now, let's go to his other lyrics. I'm looking for the antidote. Please end this night. I'm begging for the antidote. Please cleanse it all. Please let me go. Take me out of this long darkness. Just let me go. I'm looking for the antidote. These are some powerful words because for me, there was a moment in there was a moment where after 2 years of dealing with panic attacks, I thought the antidote might have been taking a drastic action. And that drastic action, I don't even want to say it online, but I remember calling the hotline for people who want to take the drastic action because I could not take it anymore. And it was at a time when I was still very stubborn. Maybe stubborn is not the right word, too scared to reach out for help. And I guess everybody's, there's another, for me, that lyric makes me think about how at one point in my life I thought the antidote was to take a very drastic, extreme action. But that earnestness to look for that antidote, to cleanse it all, to get better, I know what that feels like. I really know what that feels like. I didn't just have panic attacks, but when I didn't have panic attacks, my stomach all the time, when I'm not sleeping, would be just crunched up and like turning. I had physical pain for about 2 years before I sought help. I'm pretty sure some people watching this have their own experiences, but I want to tell you that there is light at the end of the tunnel and there is hope. I don't have severe anxiety or panic attacks anymore. I deal with anxiety now, but I don't have panic attacks anymore. And I've been panic free for, I would say, 4 years. But that came from receiving help, a lot of help. And for those who are experiencing anxiety and panic attacks, one of the best things that I also recommend is meditation. I can't go multiple days without meditation. It grounds you in a grounds you to see what's really important. And when you really look deep inside, the things that are important are not what uh, it's not even what you how you view yourself, right? It's or how others view you, right? But what's really important is you loving yourself, which has and when you love yourself, you don't even need to think about um, how you view yourself. You love yourself regardless of whether you think you're pretty or ugly, or like I think of it as the same way as like if you have a family member or anything that you love, right? No matter who, some people might view them as pretty, some people might view them as ugly, but you love them no matter what, and because you love them, they just become pretty. When you love something, everything about it becomes beautiful. Um, I can't say that I fully accepted myself yet, but definitely um, much more than when I was 25. Uh, and it's a step-by-step, baby step process. So when he talks about trying to get a fresh breath of air, trying to clean it all out, the antidote, that earnestness to make it all stop, please make it all stop. Like, I understand. Let's see. Surround me sharply. My breath is getting rough. Yeah. Trapped in it. I'm completely close. Oh, the familiar loneliness is deeper. It flows endlessly in my veins. Even a brief dream is thick in the dark. You remember I just talked about loneliness? Loneliness. Not even your parents or anybody you love can really. It's an experience. But the loneliness, I want to tell you, is always there. Life is loneliness. But the moments that you are with a loved one, it makes you treasure it. Like I remember when I was in my previous relationship, I made sure to treasure every moment because life ultimately is loneliness. No one can fully understand 100%, but the fact that somebody's out there sharing a moment with you, the fact that somebody even wants to get to know a part of you is a blessing and something you should be thankful for. And that's what I recognized at that time. Life is lonely, but there are great moments where fleeting moments. Everything in this world is fleeting. Nothing lasts forever, but that's what makes it more special. And there are moments that make up for that loneliness, and where you feel so loved, and you just treasure it so much more. But again, when you go through anxiety attacks or panic attacks, that loneliness, because you can't even, like, when you're going through, you can't even really describe it to other people, right? Because you're just like in the state of it and you just can't breathe. I understand. I really support Daniel more and more. The wounds I turned away from me, it grows deeper as time goes. I can't even move. It grows crueler and more awful. Yeah. When I was getting help for my anxiety, a lot of my past came out. Things that I run away from, try to ignore, try to push down. And I ignore them so that I can stay more content and happy. If I think about them, I was always burdened by the idea of starting a journey that's so just draining, emotionally draining, and something I didn't want to face. One of the wounds that I had was wounds, parental relationship and expectations, right? Like I graduated from a university that's famous for making doctors, but I did not go to medical school, and there was this, and the reason I did not go is twofold. One, uh, I didn't do as well in school, and two is I that was not something that I wanted to do. Um, if I really wanted to do it, I probably would have worked much harder, but I didn't. But at the same time of feeling liberated, I also felt like I let my parents down, like my mom and dad down, and it's something that I ignored, but that also affected my self-worth and how I view myself, and that's something that I had to um, face later on. It catches up with you if you don't recognize it and face it. I didn't even know it was a problem until much later. Um, like they say, like fish are the last to be aware of water, right? When you're just in it and you're just so deep in it and you never experience life outside of it, you don't even know it's a problem, right? All right. Um, it only comes from self-reflection, self-awareness, practice, right? And it takes time. You live your life 25 years a certain way, 27 years a certain way, and then all of a sudden you want to change it. It doesn't happen quickly. I support, again, I can't stop myself, but I support KANGDANIEL. I hope whatever he's struggling with, he's able to come out a wiser person. It doesn't get easier. You just become stronger to hold any burden you have, and you become more you tolerate, like you accept yourself more. It's and that's the victory, right? I'm looking for the antidote. This is the chorus, right? This earnestness cleanse it all. I'm begging for the antidote. Please let me go. Take me out of this long darkness. Just let me go. I'm looking for the antidote. Yeah, when you're going through it, you don't see an end. I remember there was a time that I gave up hope, right? Yeah. Alone in the dark night, poison beyond the limit, the endless darkness, and that's real talk. Struggling, a place that becomes meaningless. Hurry and erase the terrible nights. Antidote. I wonder what he means by a place that becomes meaningless. Poison beyond limit. You feel like the burdens are too heavy for you. I completely understand that. But I don't know what he means by a place that becomes. If you know, put it in the comments below. One of the commenters helped me understand. He had a tattoo on his neck, and they told me that tattoo was like a Greek word for antidote. So that was pretty cool. I'm looking for the antidote. Please end this night. I'm begging for the antidote. Please cleanse it all. Please let me go. Take me out of this long darkness. Just let me go. I'm looking for the antidote. If you're going through self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, as a fellow human being who's journeying through this life, in my own way, I understand what it feels like. But you don't have to go it alone, and that's a beautiful part of living, being in a tribe, right? Having fellow humans, right? Like who can support one another, right? Like other people's victories can be your lessons, can be your strength, can be your motivation to proceed. There's help, and if you can get help, please get help. I, for the longest time, did not get help, and I regret it. I was too afraid to get help. I wish you more courage than I had when I was going through anxiety issues. I tried to cure myself through watching um, YouTube videos of other people who uh, went through anxiety issues. There weren't that many at that time, but I would look up online, and that definitely helped a lot. Led me the path down to meditation, but seeing a therapist is, and a good one too. Like I interviewed many therapists as well, right, and chose one that I felt comfortable. Was the fastest way for me. I don't know what that help means for you. It might not be a therapy session, maybe it might be something else. Uh, but I encourage you, and I wish you more courage than I had, and more bravery than I had. One last thing, talking about courage and bravery, that there's no room for courage or bravery if you're not afraid. If you're a person who never afraid of anything, and anxiety and panic attacks usually have to do with a lot of having some kind of fear. In those most weakest moments is when you can shine the brightest, and you can see yourself uh, rise to the occasion in special moments. And that's what, like when I have a hardship now, I always think back, hey, I went through something like this and something even much harder, and it's a source of confidence for me to take on even other tasks that I continually, life throws random things at you, right? Like, but having gone through this suffering, it gave me a chance to have courage and bravery, see myself be strong at times, and man, it's such a useful a story to tell myself whenever I encounter something new that's also difficult. So I Godspeed. I encourage you. Please reach out to people, or if you're struggling with anxiety issues or panic attacks, or and there's a lot of resources online, and um, yeah, I wish you guys the best. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I hope my content can reach more people. Uh, Thank you very much.